My name is Dennis Porter. I'm going to be your MC for the next 2 days. You're trapped with me on this main stage where we're going to have some incredible speakers, some great panelists. It's going to be an awesome show. Soon, we're going to be having the organizers of this event come up. We're going to say thank you to them because they've done an incredible job getting this show together for all of you today. Then we're going to be having a fireside chat with the very famous J.P. Barrick. For those of you that don't know him, he's done an amazing job building his social media empire as well as his mining operations. He just had an appearance on Dr. Phil. The guy is absolutely crushing it. Thank you. Yeah. Soon after that, we're going to be having a reception. So stick around. Once this show wraps up, we're going to be going all together towards the reception itself. The purpose of this conference, it's a little different than some of the other conferences out there. When I was talking to Scott, the biggest thing that he said was he wanted a conference that was focused on the value of the content in the conference itself. A lot of these conferences kind of turn into these big parties, right? Which I love. I love going to Miami and partying, right? But sometimes we need a conference that's focused on value to the person that's attending. We want to make sure that you're getting education out of the conference. We want to make sure that you are getting networking out of the conference. The people that you meet here today are going to be some of the most important people. Let me make sure. Am I controlling this thing? There we go. Are they doing it to me? Yeah. Some of the people that you meet here today are going to be some of the most important relationships that you have as you get into the mining industry. You're going to meet partners here. You're going to meet investors here. You're also going to be gaining education. We had the mining repair workshop. Who attended that? And we had the tour. Who attended the tour? Great. Who here, I want to get a real quick show of hands. This is the real one. Who here has met someone new or learned something new that they didn't know before they came to this conference? That's what I like to see. That was like 80% of the hands. For those of you that didn't put your hand up, don't worry. There's still plenty of conference to go, plenty of opportunities. The biggest tip that I can give to you when you come to one of these conferences is make sure that you take full advantage. Network with people. Shake the hand of the person next to you. You should do it right now, to be honest. Go ahead, everybody, shake the hand of the person right next to you. Introduce yourself. Say hi. Get to know each other. That could be your next investor. That could be your next partner. We had a really fun time. One of the things that I thought was amazing about this event was this tour I went on. This industry is growing rapidly. There's incredible things happening in this space, not just with Bitcoin and digital assets. The mining industry is bringing about incredible innovation in a multitude of markets. But one of the most interesting things that happened to me today, I got a chance to go on the tour for a little bit, and I met James and Michelle. They were working in the data center there. And I said to James, you know, how long have you been working here? He's like, 2 years. This guy's a little older. He's like 60 plus, you know. He was smiling. He was having a great time. He was really enjoying that we were coming through the facility. And then I asked him how many jobs that they had there at that facility. He said over 200 jobs. Isn't that incredible? 200 jobs. And that was from 75 jobs just 2 years ago. It's been something incredible to see how quickly this industry has grown, where a single site can employ over 200 people with plans to expand to 400 jobs by 2024. This industry is going to continue to grow, and one of my favorite things about it is we are going to continue to see it have a positive impact on the communities around us. We're going to see it have a positive impact on the individuals that live in these small towns who lost the coal plant years ago and were waiting for some sort of opportunity to arise. They were like legitimately smiling at me because they were so excited to have these job opportunities in their towns. Real quick, before we get on to the next segment, we're going to have the organizers come out, and they're going to tell you a little bit about themselves and why they decided to have this conference. But before we get there, I want to say a real quick shout out to the sponsors. Please give a big round of applause for every single one of the sponsors that was part of this show. We have Iris Energy up here on the main stage. These sponsors are what make these conferences possible. I'd also like to give one more big shout out before we bring the 3 top organizers for this event out. The people that are just on staff, the volunteers, you guys wouldn't believe. When they asked me to MC this conference, and I got plugged into what was going on behind the scenes, you would not believe how much work goes into planning these conferences. You would not believe how much effort it takes to make all of this happen. I mean, look at this thing. This is a beautiful conference. I'm going to go ahead and introduce it's in my back pocket. There it is. I'm going to go ahead and introduce everyone. Just so you know, just be prepared. I'm going to do a little bit longer bio readouts for the people that are involved in these conferences. This is not a conference for celebrities, so you're oftentimes not really going to know these people very well, but it's important that you understand where they came from, why they're here, why they're speaking. So I hope that you are patient with us with the bio readouts so that you can gain context of who these people are. But also just thank you in general for the patience that you've had for this conference. It's the first time we've ever done this conference, and I think it's been an incredible success so far. I'm going to read them out one by one and have them come up here. Let's go ahead and bring up Shannon Squires. Shannon is an entrepreneur with a background as an award-winning business developer and sales professional. He's helped build companies ranging from startups to $1.3 billion in revenue. Over the last 4 years, Shannon has developed a small testbed mining farm in Colorado while creating a hosting directory for Bitcoin mining farms worldwide. This is honestly a very small piece of what Shannon does. He's done an amazing job building up himself in this industry. Shannon, why don't you come up here real quick? Round of applause for Shannon. Yeah, but somebody.
All right.
Hold on. Go ahead and go over there. Let's see. And then we're going to bring up Brad. Brad has been working so hard at this conference that he literally didn't have time to write a bio. I'm not kidding you. I asked him 5 times for it. Brad, thank you. Come on up here, man. Appreciate you working so hard. Appreciate it. Yeah. Brad, why don't you turn Brad's mic on. Brad, do a real quick bio for yourself. Just tell people about yourself a little bit real quick.
Long story short, I just try to get stuff done. This was a great event. I appreciate you all for being here, all the volunteers, all the staff. Please do me a favor, thank them. There's been a lot of sleepless nights of working through things, so if they're wearing an orange shirt, please do that, all right? Thank you.
If you get the opportunity, make sure that you tip the staff here at this location. You can do that with Bitcoin. There's going to be these held up all over the place, so just make sure you take the opportunity to tip the staff if you have the opportunity to do that. Please, thank you very much. And now, we got to say a very special thank you to the man who made all of this possible. He worked tirelessly to put this thing together. He got all these gentlemen together as well. Yeah. Scott offered. Scott, he's a founder of Scott's Mining. Scott forged his company in the crypto winter of 2018, leaving his career in internet marketing behind. Scott has now become a major broker in mining equipment. As of 2021, Scott has began training others to help build and manage their mines. Out of his desire for unity in the industry, Scott launched this conference. Scott, come on up here, man. You got to get up here. Let's go.
Thank you.
All right, guys, let's talk about it. Where did this conference come from? Where did the idea for the conference come? Tell people a little bit about why we're here today.
Yeah. Came out of his crazy brain.
Right here. No, I just want to thank everybody for coming. This is amazing. It's very surreal, to have a conference in such a short time. We picked Texas because, it's a hotbed of mining right now. Things are just starting. They're just starting to heat up here. And we wanted to recognize that, and we wanted to bring something to you guys here. You deserve it in Texas. but yeah, where did the idea come from? You know, I've been to other conferences, like Dennis was talking about, and I was really just looking to put something together that was very wholesome, that you wouldn't be ashamed to bring your grandmother to or afraid to bring your kids to. And it just so happens that Kalahari is just a very wonderful event venue for this. My daughter's right there, back there with my wife. That's Selah and Stephanie. Thank you for putting up with me. Yeah, so we wanted people to be able to bring their families and help to foster the growth and professionalism of this industry. And so yeah, thank you for coming.
Let's hear from your two main compadres over here. Shannon been grinding away.
Yeah, so basically I just spent the last 6 months begging and pleading every speaker you're going to see here to show up and do this. So I appreciate you guys immensely. We have speakers that have traveled here from all over the world to talk to you guys about various mining projects, every type of fuel source you can imagine and every type of mining system you can imagine. So you have literally the industry best experts on stage here. You can't beat them. So I'm pretty excited about that. And thank you guys so much, all the speakers you guys are going to see tomorrow and tonight. I showed up because Scott asked me, he's like, hey, you want to put on a conference? And I'm like, oh, sure, what do you got planned? And it was day one. I didn't know it was day one that he had decided, he had just decided to do this. So pretty exciting to run down this path. I had no idea what it took to put these conferences on, so I definitely feel for everybody who's done them in the past. And I thank my wife over there immensely for letting me actually come and do this. I had to beg and plead her to allow me to do this like 6 months ago. So it worked out pretty well. And thank you guys all for attending. You guys are what make this event great. And like I've mentioned before, I hope you guys get to do a lot of good networking and learn a lot of cool things here.
Brad, tell everyone why you're impossible to get a hold of, the man who cannot be found.
Well, so this started when Scott asked me, hey, do you think we should put on a conference? And at the time, having run events plenty of times, I was like, well, we could. And then he kept thinking about it. He's like, oh, we're just doing it. And then he throws up all these crazy ideas, like, we're going to do this, do this, do this, do this. And then he goes, you're going to do that, right, Brad? Right? Remember that conversation? Do you know somebody who'll do this? Do you know somebody who'll do that? And the cool thing is having known Scott for 10 years and worked with him in a lot of venues, his heart is always in the right place. And like, we're really trying to bring good people together because it's not always easy to do that, right? And so if you think about the people here in this room, they're not only the best of the best in terms of education or speaking or good people or successful, like, they're good character people. And I think that's really hard to come by in this day and age. And I want you to think about that as you're talking to people and meeting them, right? Half of this, yes, this is a Bitcoin conference, this is a crypto conference, it's all of those things, but it's backed by people like you who are willing to spend the time here, meet people, build connections, and build bridges, not burn them. So thank you.
Scott, one of the biggest things you said to me that I thought was huge is just this idea that you wanted a conference that was different and that really brought value to the community. It really allowed people to network. And I think that that's so crucial because a lot of times, you have these events and everybody's out at the restaurants, they're out at the bars instead of here trying to learn and gain insight. Like, what really led you to that point where you thought that was such an important part to this conference?
Yeah. No, I knew that we needed to do this right. We had to have the right speakers that Shannon definitely helped bring in. But yeah, what led us to this point? Like I said before, I've seen this done before. I've planned conferences in the past in different industries, nothing quite like this. Actually, what it came down to was this guy right here, Devin Blitzer. We were at a conference, a similar genre, and we're like, hey, you know what? We should plan a conference. That's really what it came down to.
That's the biggest thing in this industry, by the way, and I want to say this real quick, is that if you're in the space and you're thinking if you should get involved, you should be thinking like Scott. Let's just do it. Just do the conference. Just do the mine. Just build the app. Just write the software. It's such an important part. Same thing happened with me. Just jumped on, started doing Twitter Spaces, built a podcast, and that's what got us here today. You just got to get involved and become active, and that's what's going to get you down the road to where you're doing things like what Scott's doing. Yeah. So Scott, thank you so much for putting this event on. We really appreciate it, and I hope you all have a really great time here. Scott, any closing comments?
Yeah. thanks for coming, everybody. Like we were saying earlier, we just want to help people to spread the word about Bitcoin and bring a new level of professionalism to the mining industry. And with all of your help, we're making that happen. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.